Hello, and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Dan, the football was as sloppy as the sloppy mess that the pitch became on Friday. Exeter City, 1 point from a potential 6 against two teams likely to get relegated. Deary me.
Yeah. It doesn't even feel like we should be given any points for any of that, does it?
The only points deserved are the supporters.
Yeah, we've only got one out of
one.
potential 6.
Yep.
But I don't feel like we kind of even that any points at all should be rewarded for any of that.
No, if this was some sort of judges judge your performance and hold up a number kind of sport.
Yeah, like ballroom,
yeah.
Is that what they're doing? Ballroom dancing?
They're doing ballroom dancing, ice skating, and gymnastics, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
If this was that kind of sport, it'd be the old nil point.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Eurovision.
I'm mixing my metaphors.
If this was a Eurovision entry,
yes.
If our season under Gary Caldwell was a Eurovision entry,
yeah,
it would be getting nil point, and that wouldn't even be for geopolitical reasons.
No, it wouldn't. Right.
Usually it's because we've pissed off some country by being annoying. By being annoying British people.
Yeah.
Brexit.
Yeah.
Etc.
Just our general snootiness.
War,
yeah.
Invading Iraq, any of that.
Yeah.
This is just purely performance-based.
This is purely performance-based. What we've done, if we were a Eurovision performance...
Walking on Sunshine, Katrina and the Waves, that won Eurovision, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's one of my least favourite songs of all time.
It wasn't Walking on Sunshine, though, was it? It was Love, Shine a Light. Walking on Sunshine was her original song from the 80s.
Oh, really? That wasn't the Eurovision entry?
No, she came back in the noughties with Love, Shine a Light.
Right.
In every corner of this land, or something
What was
like
the Bucks Fizz one that
Making
won
Your
it?
Mind Up.
Did that win it? Making Your Mind Up?
Making Your Mind Up.
Was that the one that you won Eurovision?
I think so. They whipped off Cheryl... What's her name?
Cheryl Baker.
Cheryl Baker's skirt. Making
Really?
Your Mind Up.
Right, yeah. And Gina G, obviously our other winner.
Did she win? And Cliff Richard won, didn't he, once?
Did he?
Yeah.
Gina G, ooh, just a little bit. I'm pretty sure that won.
Yeah, I feel like you're right.
Again, maybe we weren't being that annoying. This season is none of those songs.
No.
Despite the fact that some of those songs are pretty bad, even though they did win. This is like the worst, the worst entry.
It's the worst entry
that we've ever entered.
I feel like if Gary Caldwell was in charge of a Eurovision entry, he'd just send out the drums and bass and say, let's not worry about the melody, lads. Just go out there and get a good rhythm going.
Yeah.
And then they'd walk off.
Yeah, it'd be Deacon Blue as well, wouldn't it?
No.
His favourite band.
Yeah, but he'd be besmirching the good name of Deacon Blue.
Well, I don't think they're that good.
Oh, excellent.
They're not that good.
Gary Caldwell thinks that the true unsung members of the band, the Proclaimers, are in fact the rhythm section, not the two brothers.
Yeah, he thinks that the two brothers have gone off script a bit and that they should...
They should rein it in a bit.
And follow the example of the drummer and the bass player.
Yeah, just lock in, lads. Yeah, that's right. His favourite member of Take That is Jason Orange.
Yeah, was Orange really doing anything?
Exactly, nothing.
Yeah. I don't think he was really holding anything together. I think he's completely superfluous, wasn't he?
I suppose he was.
Anyway,
we've had to put up with 2 awful games.
Well, exactly. There's not much to say, is there?
There's not much to say.
Absolute shit.
Good Friday.
But we are now mathematically safe.
We're in League One next year.
We are definitely in League One next year. Thank God, because
at least we got something out of this.
What would we do without this? What would we do without this football we get to watch every week? Heaven forbid.
Life would be grey and dull.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
0-0. Burton's Menswear.
Burton's Menswear came. The brewing club, and what did their flag say? Brewers Union.
Yeah. I think so.
Anyway, the Brewers Union came to town, and it was terrible weather, wasn't it? Like sheeting down. And
there was a big puddle down by the corner of the away end and cowshed.
Yeah.
That corner.
That corner was wet.
Very wet.
Big puddle forming in front of the big bank. To the left, if you're stood on the big bank. It was bad. And City came out the blocks. First 3 minutes, I was like, oh, here we go. And then quickly...
Yeah, there was the one I remember was a sort of chance for Caleb Watts, which keeper saved, but it was a good, lovely move, wasn't it? It was Cole, Cox, Caleb, possibly someone else, combining little one...
Macmillan as well, I think.
Maybe.
Some credit.
I don't think we've knocked Macmillan this season particularly.
No, we haven't, no.
I think sometimes it's a bizarre choice to be playing in midfield, but I think he's a perfectly decent...
Indeed, I agree with you.
Right back.
Anyway, it was a good start. Watts, keeper saved it. And that was about all that happened. I mean, that was literally about all that happened for City.
Yeah, I feel like there was another sort of thing bit like that in the first sort of 10 minutes. But that was the only clear-cut one. We weren't... In the first half, it looked like, definitely seen worse. But no goals. And then Burton didn't seem to... Considering that they've...
Well, they could have done with 3 points.
Well, also maybe that's the achievement. That Burton were on a very good run. I mean, pretty good run. They were doing well against. They were doing a decent job of getting themselves out of danger.
Didn't look
like they were really like that bothered. And then the second half, just boring shite. No, thank you.
And very wet.
Yeah. At the end of the match, Gary Caldwell did his post-match interview.
Yeah.
Which, usually are as boring as the performances. Let's be honest. But he did say something a bit interesting whilst giving some praise to Caleb Watts. Also saying that if he didn't go off script, quote, as much, he would be, a better player, essentially. So that was to that effect. I mean, which is really...
It's everything we know, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's really kind of discouraging to hear it in that black and white where they're kind of the one guy, it seems, who's looking to kind of like...
Make something happen.
Yeah, is just criticised for exactly that.
Well, it wouldn't encourage you to, A, stay if you're Caleb Watts, or B, come if you were a player like Caleb Watts.
It's very strange. I kind of expect Caleb Watts to leave.
Yeah. Wouldn't you?
Absolutely, it would. Yeah.
I know, bizarre, really. It wasn't. Some people say he really had to go at him. He didn't. It was just a little comment, and I thought that tells us loads of stuff.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like a full pasting.
No, just tells us everything really about his attitude towards control. At one point,
I mean, this is insistence recently on playing, like, kind of since we've been safe. It feels like we kind of went, like we said before, we've gone a bit more direct to address since the January transfer window, just to kind of get us to safety. And then the minute we are safe, it's kind of back to just kind of like, Caldwell's like reverted to type, just being like, no, we've got to be as boring as possible.
Yeah.
I'm putting Niskanen and Macmillan as wing backs. It's just like I said, I'm not slacking off. I am slacking off Niskanen. I'm not slacking off Macmillan. I think he's a decent player and played in the right place. I think he's done a solid season for us. I just think, like, why are you playing him wing back when you've got, much better options, and we're playing against Burton and Crawley?
Wasn't it, in fact, Macmillan that had the chance in front of goal? Or am I remembering the week before? One landed to Macmillan, and obviously he was the furthest forward player.
No, yeah, I think that was in the Burton game. Yeah. He had a chance. Yeah, but what's he doing up there?
That's right. Yeah, I agree.
Not his fault that he's not a clinical finisher.
No.
He's a right back.
Well, there was one point, I think it was Francis had the ball in the centre circle, moving into Burton's half, and none of their players were in the circle, so he had at least that much room and more. And he almost got into like a canter of pace, and then obviously had this moment of like, oh no, I shouldn't be doing this, and then played it sideways, and you're like,
there's a lot of that.
We've covered this so many times. I just keep seeing. I think
Francis is a player who naturally doesn't do that, And we have seen him play some really good forward balls. Like sometimes he can really split the defence. Like he is good at that. I think it's just kind of the they're told to go safe and to go sideways and to retain possession. It's the same with Cole. We've seen him do some incredible things in recent weeks.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, aside of those first 10 minutes and stuff, it seemed to me like every time he got the ball, it was just first time without even turning or half turning or anything, just straight back.
Yeah.
Just straight back to whoever gave it to him or to one of the other defenders.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem like that would be naturally part of his game. Same as Watt, who like you think like at least we got someone there who wants to take the ball like on the kind of turn or whatever and try and move forward. No, none of that. Less of that, please.
Less of that.
Yeah. What can you say? We're safe, but it's shit.
So as boring as that game was, yesterday at Crawley, away at Crawley, Easter Monday, we did a good job at providing some entertainment for the home fans by being 3-0 down in how many minutes? 20?
20 odd, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
A bit like when we played them at St James Park. That was 4-1 at half time.
Except without the comeback.
This one, at least, that one, at least.
That ended 4-4, right?
That ended 4-4. At least there was some. This time it was like inept, but exciting in the first half. Goals. And then just really boring and crap in the second half.
It was really inept.
Oh, man.
I mean, some players who've been solid.
Unreal.
Ed Turns.
Yeah, but why does he put Ed Turns right back?
Yeah. It's bizarre choices. The man can't. He's clearly got a quite significant mask on his face.
Yeah, I get why we're safe now. So you're giving minutes to some different people, or whatever. But just can't you keep it like consistent? Can't we just keep it a bit consistent? Like, why does Ed Turns need minutes at right back? Do you mean if you're not going to play him in his right position, just put him on the bench?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It's every week there's some weird thing, and it's just gone like, this week I'm doing this far into the season. It's just like, it's so frustrating at the moment, isn't it? It's so frustrating.
And still lone players are getting time.
Yeah.
I mean, Joel Colwell was terrible yesterday.
Yeah.
Yagani's there. Don't know what happened to him, but, why Tom Deanstein, and he got a bit of time at the end.
That makes sense.
The other stuff doesn't make sense to me. There are 2 more games in City shirts. There's no way those 2 are coming back.
No, even if they maybe do. I mean, that's
really annoying. So it was 3-0 down. It was 3-1 at half time because actually Ed Francis did what he didn't do the other day, stepped into their half, played a ball over the top, and our man Caleb Watts managed to get a head on it over the keeper.
Yes.
And you think, maybe. No.
Subs at half time.
3 subs.
After scoring. Don't you dare go scoring a goal, Caleb. What are you doing? Get him off. Get this maverick off.
So, obviously, Crawley were very happy to get 3 points and just play the game out.
Fair. I mean, consider what happened to them last time at St James's Park.
Yeah.
I think it's a different manager now, isn't it? But you still go like, right, this time we've got the lead. Now let's just keep the ball.
Yeah.
And they did a very good job of it. It was really boring to watch. But
they would obviously do what they want to do. And then Ed Francis finished.
I wouldn't mind being a boring side to watch if we scored 3 goals in the first half.
No, because that's quite a strange score in a way, especially when you're not necessarily the best team.
Yeah.
So
Andrew Olawabori started this match with.
Yeah.
Alongside, it's kind of as well as Sonny Cox.
Yeah. Don't know if it was any good or not because we were too busy not defending the ball.
Yeah, it came off at half time and it was kind of overshadowed, by some terrible defending.
I mean, they could have had 5 or 6
goals,
to be honest, couldn't they?
Yeah, it was appalling. Really strange as well because that's the one thing we've been quite good at is
where there haven't been stupid mistakes.
No, solid defensively. If nothing else, you cannot say we haven't been solid defence since January. Yeah. In fact, that's kind of the only thing you kind of think, all right, something to build on. We got this. Next season, it's all about, we've got to do something about this attack, but fair play, sorted the defence out. What happened there?
No idea.
I find this kind of switching between Fitzwater in there one week, and then it's back to McDonald, and then it's back to Fitzwater. It's just like, it's excruciating.
Ed Francis has obviously had enough. He got a yellow card and he gets himself a second. 10 minutes to go. The old sarcastic clap and point at the referee. Yeah,
which will see him avoid the last home game of the season.
Yeah.
Very wise.
Yeah. How do you get sent off as a supporter? I'm just asking for a friend.
Bit of racism.
I'm not willing to go that far. I just won't go. I mean, I will go, but
Okay.
if it was between racism and just not turning up,
Right.
I'd take not turning
You could
up.
make a bomb threat or something.
Yeah, it seems a bit extreme.
It doesn't have to be a racist bomb threat.
No, I it feels a bit far.
Throw something on the pitch.
Yeah, what like? Cold one.
Some hard plastic.
Perks. If I picked up Perks and threw him on the pitch,
Yeah.
by the way, listeners, that's not within my skill set, but if it were,
I think he might knock your head off if you attempted it.
he might well.
Because he's small,
Oh, he's definitely fiery.
but he looks solid. And you're not exactly a tall man.
No, I'm not, no. But well, I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone here, get back at Perks a bit for all that he's
Yeah,
done
but
to me.
you'd be banned for life. And then what if like Perks and Coldwell leave the next week?
Oh yeah, all right. Bad error. What about streaking?
Yeah. Again, I think they might give you. Well, they definitely give you a lifetime ban for doing that.
Not everyone.
Why
Some
not?
people will be pleased.
You could just not go. It's only one
Yeah,
more
all right,
game.
all right.
Worry about this next season if and when Coldwell and Perks are still here.
Okay, duly noted. Thank you. Anyway, Francis misses it. We don't. Why does he get to enjoy bad behaviour?
Well, presumably you have to still come, won't he?
I guess so. Unless he, phones in with the bronchitis.
Yeah.
That's what you go for, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But then
COVID.
he is back for the next game.
Yeah, but you got a week.
Yeah.
If he called in today and said he's got COVID.
COVID, you can very easy to prove, though, isn't it? You just want to say bad back.
Bad back. Migraine.
Stress.
Stress.
I'm too stressed, yeah.
I'm too stressed.
And
I'll be
because
stressed
of
for
my
the next
bad
7
back,
days.
yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay. So, yeah, that was that. I mean, what a terrible display Crawley was. But, there were some caveats. There were no caveats for that first half performance yesterday.
No. And the second half. That was
and the second
really
half.
lacklustre as
No,
well.
no,
I know
no,
Crawley made it difficult. By that point, we'd already made it easy for them to make it difficult, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But there won't be, we will have a break soon for the end of the season. Everyone, I think, now is desperate for the season to end. And then we'll see what happens next season.
Yeah. There's some rumours,
There is.
but there's also some counter rumours. More about that in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bank Theory podcast. Maybe you can email us, bigbankpod@gmail.com. Maybe you've seen Big Sam parked up at, is it still there? The Domino's near the Met Office.
Why would he be there?
Bussing him in as a new manager.
Big Sam.
Possible.
Yeah, maybe.
Make the call.
That's not happening.
That's not happening.
Let's talk about things that could actually happen.
Oh, right, okay.
Hang on, have you there any emails?
There was one
I imagine
email.
there is.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
there
one
is.
email
Right.
from Ollie. He says he's not sure how appropriate this email is. But after hearing about our Simnel cake, by the way, I had 2 pieces, thank you very much.
Yeah, that weird beef thing you sent me a picture
Yeah, that's
of.
right, yeah. It reminded me that I had, this is Ollie, it reminded me I had a dream last night that you switched the podcast to a video format and you were both incredibly hunky Love Island types. Ollie, I'm afraid to tell you that wasn't a dream. It's all true. Apart from the video format, you've just obviously seen us around.
I'm not even, I'm so far away from like the fittest that I've ever been in my life. And when I was the fittest I've ever been in my life, I did not look like that.
No. All right.
What are the I've never watched any of these programs, but I'm guessing Love Island is like, they've got those turkey teeth, tan,
You know the men-
very muscly, very
Yeah.
short hair.
Yeah, no socks.
Yeah.
Short trousers.
I've had a bit of a tan. I have had a tan in my life. Other than that, no, none of those things.
Yeah, you know the men that go to the races that you voiced a diatribe against the other day?
Not really a diatribe, but yeah.
That's a Love Island type, I would say.
Right,
I've
okay.
also never watched it, but I
Very, very tight jeans.
Yep,
Not for me.
Buff.
Well, I used to wear very, very tight jeans back in the day, but
Yeah.
not anymore.
Buff, brown, but gone to
Console.
Console Sun Centre, whatever it's called.
Mm.
Yeah. So Ollie's he's not quite right there, but keep dreaming.
Well, it doesn't matter what we look like, does it?
One of my dreams nearly came true. No, it doesn't matter then. No, it doesn't. One of my dreams nearly came true.
I've just had a haircut and I couldn't say with any real conviction that I don't look like one of the Bee Gees.
Male Focus.
Yeah.
They've given you the old BG card.
I think they've given me a Bee Gee, but I think I asked for it, but not on purpose.
Oh, as in you were really insulting?
I asked for a haircut.
Oh, right.
Without thinking what I'm describing here is a Bee Gees haircut.
Yeah.
And then they've given me that, and then to my surprise, I've looked in the mirror and gone I've got a Bee Gees haircut.
Which BG are you?
I mean, probably Barry,
Yeah.
which is probably the best option, but I am still a BG.
Yeah, that's all right. You embrace it. It doesn't look like a BG cut to me, I got to say.
Okay, fine.
But, when we do switch to video format, you can be the judge, listeners.
Absolutely.
So, one of my dreams nearly came true this week, which was Duke Roll cranked up the old rumour mill. See this?
Well, we've had two. Yeah, there's been two responses, both from these notorious internet ITK accounts.
Dobbers, I call them.
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of dobbing.
They're dobbing Gary and Perks in.
Yeah, fine.
All right.
Dobbing's got a place in this world,
It certainly does.
Yeah, the first one, Duke Roll sort of suggesting Coldwell's off.
Yeah. Growing acceptance at the club was how he phrased it.
Right.
Yep.
But then that was refuted
Yes.
mere days later by ex-Web ITK
Dobber.
agent Andy.
Yeah. Who I think he's got less of a good track record than
I'm
Duke
guessing
Roll.
he means agent as in secret agent rather than he is a sort of agent.
Oh, he's Gary's agent.
Football agent. Because
Yeah.
otherwise it's such if your name was Andy, it's not a very good disguise, is it? Because
It's not.
and also very uninventive.
Agent Andy. Yeah, so I'm hoping that Duke Roll's got it right.
A lot of people are.
I know people are saying to me, careful what you wish for, but
No, I don't think... are they?
Some people, maybe. But I think it's time for a change. That's all I think. Fair play to him.
Look, we're
Pretty
not going to
safe he is.
sack Gary Coldwell.
No.
I think, to be honest, that wouldn't play well. You'd kind of look a bit nuts if you were to sack him.
Especially given
At
our
this
record
point.
of not sacking.
Yeah, at this point, I think it would. But I'm not saying I'd be opposed to it. Make yourself look as stupid as you want. I don't care. Get rid of him. But they're not going to do that, are they?
No.
They didn't sack him when we hadn't won for 3 months. They're hardly going to sack him when he's just
Finished the season quite
secured
well,
us
yeah.
the third division football for the third time or whatever.
There's two options, aren't there? He thinks, I've taken this as far as I can. I leave now and look for another job, or he gets another job and leaves.
He will never. He's not just going to leave and then
You
look for
wouldn't
another
think so.
job.
That would be
There's no
mad.
way. You'd also the other whatever other job he gets has got to be. It's got to be
An improvement in some way for him.
yeah, and that's quite. And you might not think of it because a lot of clubs as being that you might think, there's loads of teams that could be to be improved. The Exeter's a small team or whatever, but you got to factor in the fact that we will never sack him.
Yeah.
So he's currently at a team where he can go on these months of kind of winless runs every year, and they doesn't get sacked. What other club has he got? He's got to look for another club that ain't going to do that to him.
There's hardly any jobs in the country.
Yeah. What it's got to would be significantly better terms in other areas, as in a lot more money,
Yeah.
bigger, more chance for success, more scope for
Yeah.
improvement.
Yeah. Now, he obviously, fair enough, considers himself to be a useful coach and manager. So there's some of... We might look at it and be like, I wouldn't go there, Gary. as we often think about lots of managers and their movements, he will presumably have an ambitious view on it all and think, I could do something there.
Yeah.
But will he get given a job? I mean, he's quite hot property, I suppose. Well, warm property.
Well, only if they've just been looking at the figures.
Well,
and not
if you
watching
believe the
football.
hype, I suppose, of small budget, southwesterly club that can't get players, excellent coach that knows exactly how he wants his team to play. If you believe that hype, plus the fact that we're in 3 seasons in a row in League One, which is good for us, then you would think, okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah. But that does also involve not watching a single second of the football itself.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are some moments. If you'd watch the Nottingham Forest...
Not over a sustained
period. I don't know. I don't know what they look at. I mean, I think each owner's different.
Yeah, you might well think, I don't care about whether the football's good. We are at this point. Say you're some yo-yo team club between League One and the Championship, or between League Two and League One. So you can't ever get any momentum going. Say you're Rotherham, basically. Yeah. You might go, who can we get, which is going to just provide us this kind of stability in one place? Because keep us like that for a while, and maybe he might be an option for that. I think it'd be a mistake for him to go to Rotherham, but
yeah, I suppose there are a few things that could happen in the summer. Like, as we know, managers are starting to lose their jobs as teams don't hit where their owners clearly wanted them to finish. So Tony Mowbray just got sacked yesterday, didn't he? West Brom. Gary Cole was not going to West Brom, but I don't know, the guy at Argyle...
Or the Stockport guy might go there, and then he might get the Stockport
that kind
job.
of thing, isn't it? The guy at Argyle is presumably going to be potentially sacked, but also potentially get a bigger job because
he won't get sacked.
No, maybe not. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like, things change, don't they? Like, there's just a bit of a merry-go-round, which might benefit him. Yes. So we'll see. So that's the rumour, isn't it, anyway?
So there's a slight rumour, but I just think, I mean, who knows? You never know what's going to happen. I think what we need to do is prepare very much for next season being another season under the guidance of Caldwell and Perks. I think that's just the most likely scenario, is that they're still here.
Yeah.
And all we can do then is just hope and whine, maybe, about the fact that we'd like to see a bit more attacking football.
Yeah.
Because you can't, I mean, it seems stupid. On the one hand, people would be like saying, like, well, what are you moaning about? You've never had it so good. And then annoyingly, that's true. Because we haven't really. There's been very few. When Tisdale, did we manage 3 seasons and then come down? So has he improved on that, Caldwell?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've basically never been this successful.
Matey before, who was it?
Inglethorpe.
No, not before Tisdale. The guy before Jerry Francis, whose name I've now forgotten, before my time.
Terry Cooper?
No, earlier.
No, I don't know.
Anyway, I think he kept us. I think we were in League One, the equivalent then, for a number of years.
Right, okay.
6 or 7 years.
Okay.
So it's not our best ever, but it's not far away.
Yeah.
What I would say, though, to people who say that stuff is, this club's in better shape than it's ever been. And so it's all right to have better ambitions. Like, you wouldn't say to Manchester City, when they missed out on the Premier League that first time, or when they weren't winning the Champions League, like, what are you on about? You used to be in League One. Like, obviously, things change for clubs, don't they?
Yeah,
things
true.
have changed for us.
Yeah.
So, anyway, on that, I wonder, listeners, if you've listened to the interview online with City's CEO, Joe Gorman.
Yes.
Very insightful.
If you haven't seen this, which most of you kind of, I imagine, will have done, because it's sort of nerd behaviour, isn't it? Watching an interview with a CEO is the behaviour of a complete nerd. And so is listening to a podcast about a small League One club.
But
so we
enjoy it like you do.
Well, we're doing it. So I'm not. I'm including myself in this nerd kind of diatribe, as you like to accused me of.
Yes. Well, anyway, the YouTube channel is Business of Sport. If you haven't seen it.
Oh man, subscribe, like and subscribe. Business of Sport. That is. I mean, are you going to watch any other episodes of Business of Sport?
Can't say I'm likely.
I might watch another one actually because Tisdale's on one of them.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I mean, fair play to the guy. He does a good interview.
Fine, I'm sure he does. And there must be very many people that are interested in the business of sport.
Well, there's people that do degrees in it, aren't there? So,
is there?
Yeah.
Blimey.
Anywho, big business, Dan. So Joe Gorman used to be our chief finance officer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I went to an AGM and he did a little brief talk.
Yeah, he said he's done those kinds of things.
And I think that was when he was the chief finance
officer.
CFO. Yeah.
And
so I'm pretty sure I have seen him.
I think he's been at the club 18 months. He's been in this role 6 months.
Yeah, that'd be him. Yeah.
So he's asked some questions and some answers we already know the answers to because we're part of this thing. Some of the insights into how the club thinks and how he thinks, really interesting.
Yes.
So the headline, I suppose, that lots of you might have heard is that he sees our ambitions being a top 50 club.
Yes.
So that's top 6 of League One upwards. He's also... I mean, I don't think that's revelatory, but I suppose it shows some ambition to move on up a bit. He also said, as we know, that they've taken the women's team in-house, and that's a thing that loses money, but they want to do that. They want to see us.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I also didn't know they would pay them all a kind of proper wage, so they're all pros and everything.
I remember when they made the change.
But it is paying off, isn't it? Because the women's team are doing really well this season.
Yeah. And obviously there's this kind of race, which I did know about, that at some point they think that the top 2 leagues in women's football are going to be locked up. And so...
really?
Yeah, there's talk of that. It's kind of coming and going.
That doesn't surprise me because they'd love to do that to Premier League as well, wouldn't they? The Super League.
It got turned down. So they voted on it 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was moved away from. But I do think that it's sensible of Exeter City to try and... Well, if you're at the top table, you can be involved in the conversation, can't you?
Yeah, get in there.
Get in there. So there's obviously ambition to do that, and they've done that really well this year. He also talked a bit about how he values where the income comes from, and...
Well, I think he said in the past, he was saying things like that in the past, it was a little bit like we'd make money and then we just have the money.
Yeah.
We just kind of have these big pots of cash that we'd made.
That would slowly get...
And we just go like, oh, look, we've got this money, better keep hold of this, kind of thing. Whereas
this is 20 years worth.
He's more like wants to invest that into, the main thing he seems to be talking about is digital advertising boards. So that's a way of investing money. Like, it's all very impressive. I don't, not him as a person. I've got nothing against him. I don't know him. He seems really like a nice guy. I've always been a bit adverse to kind of guys like this. These kind of like business kind of investor, kind of like capitalist kind of guys. It's not really me. But I realise that we've got the trust. So that is one. Currently, that is a balance against that kind of thing.
Yep.
And also that football clubs aren't likely to be run in some kind of socialist utopia for the people who might think that would be nice. That's not going to happen. I realise it's a business. It's not my decision, so fine, and probably a lot of those things are good ideas, but depending on what your goals are. I mean, on the one hand, I kind of like being a bit, village fete, like tin pot, kind of like little like turnip kind of like thing of like, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't want us to be a big football club because I don't like big football clubs. I don't want us to be a big business because I don't like big businesses. But I also accept that that's not how most people think, and fine, like I'll just go along with whatever.
What was interesting to me was he talked a bit about if we went to the Championship, obviously, as we know, if we were there a number of years, we'd have to convert the big bank to safe standing.
Yeah, he kind of doesn't mention the fact that you've got 3 years to do it, does he?
I mean, he knows it's he must know that. What I would push for, I think, watching that, and which he didn't...
Because that would reduce our capacity down to like something like 6,000.
I think we'd lose 2,000 off the bank. Obviously, the thing that I would really push for would be then expanding the ground in other ways, fill the gap, convert the away end to something bigger, maybe even look to, make the big bank higher. So yeah, you'd lose if you did a direct just on those steps, make safe standing. If you're going to do that, maybe you could look to do something different anyway.
Can you make it any higher than it is?
You do whatever you want. I mean, look at those other places.
They might blow down.
Well, I think they know how to stop it from blowing down. I just think it's interesting that you would.
Well, they called off a match once because they thought the roof was going to blow off.
No, I mean, you do an entirely new kind of stand in that spot,
Yeah.
I just think.
I think the way surely the one for expansion would be the
Dough ball.
the cowshed.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that called? The main one.
Yeah. What is it called at the moment? I don't know.
The IP office.
No, that's the other one.
The something about building.
What is it? Yeah, it's orange.
Yeah.
That one.
That one. The main bit where the manager is.
Yeah. Well, you could obviously go back there.
The cowshed.
Cowshed.
That you can make that bigger, couldn't you? Surely that's the one that looks like it should be.
Well, that's got our land behind it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And then there is the away end as well. And I know you'd need to change the road and that, but I think there's options. But the other thing that really struck me was merchandise. So we make a lot of money in merchandise. But as we keep saying, there's so much room for expansion there. Everyone we know, and we know a lot of Exeter City supporters, might buy a home shirt. I've got one, you haven't. Might buy a woolly hat. That's kind of our limit from what they currently sell. But there's so much more they could sell. Do you know what I mean? I'm just always amazed that...
I think they said they do... There's only 20% of it's online as well.
Yeah.
And that's... I mean, I would say that's probably because...
It's not very good.
The website's always shit and the options are very, very limited and always have been. Annoyingly, you go on like Plymouth Argyle's website. They've got everything.
Yeah.
Literally every single piece of crap you could ever want with a Plymouth Argyle badge on it, it's on there.
Yeah.
But they probably make more money than we do.
Of course. Because you would. And so I think as Exeter expands, because we always say like Plymouth's bigger than Exeter, but if the room, well, we know that Cranbrook's a great big town next to Exeter, it's going to get bigger. I think we should really, like you, I don't want to see kind of enormous changes to how we do things. But if money's what we need to be sustainable, there are ways of doing what we already do better or more productively.
I think we saw from the accounts and maybe a bit from this that we still massively rely on selling players in order for us to be to break even.
Yeah.
If we didn't do that, we wouldn't have broken even. Do you know? So no matter what the trust does in terms of like with fan owned, with members, all this membership fees and stuff, it's not enough. So it's all about buying, developing, or and selling players. That's how this works.
Yeah.
But there's other ways to kind of like you could bolster it and to help, and like I think that's all things we should be doing.
He seems like a guy with his, he seems to know what's happening and know the state of play, and I thought it was really
absolutely.
useful insight.
Yeah, actually,
and he clearly won't be here forever. He's obviously got ambitions at bigger clubs.
Given that you kind of have to have these kind of types of people running businesses these days, I'm glad it's him because he seems like a kind of good bloke and quite clever with it.
Well, I was reflecting on. He said that they want everyone at the club to be. They want the club to kind of be a stepping stone, right? So for players, but also for staff members. I would say that he looks to me like he's in that category as well. But then it's interesting, isn't it, that our manager obviously was using it as a stepping stone, but we've kind of got stuck with someone who he's not got the bounce to the next step that Matt Taylor had.
Well, he definitely thinks he has.
I know he definitely thinks
he's biding his time.
Yeah.
He's got to seal the deal first, doesn't he? I suppose. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. But if you haven't watched it, I'd really recommend it. It's an hour or so long, but there's lots of insights, aren't there?
Absolutely. It is pretty essential viewing if you are a nerd.
Yeah. Okay, so on that, they all nerds unite because it's our last home game of the season this Saturday.
Yeah.
Huddersfield. I haven't even paid any attention to them recently. I've been so fed up with it.
Mid-table.
They're not getting playoffs. They're not, are they?
Potential location for Gary Caldwell.
Yes. Dressed to impress, Gaz. Yeah, so...
Yeah, they're 9th.
They're not doing it, are they?
I mean...
Oh, no, they're not.
No, they mathematically can't.
They mathematically can't. Yeah, that's right. They're the last ones that can't. The first ones that can't, as it were.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's that. Birmingham are on 99 points now, 4 games to go, but let's ignore that. Wrexham are basically up with them. Oh no, they're not.
No,
actually, are
only
they?
2
No.
points. Oh yeah, that'll go to the wire, as they say.
Yeah. And then at the bottom, Bristol Rovers and Burton are still fighting over that last place. In theory, Mansfield could get drawn into it. That's our last game, but we'll know by then, and they'll know by then if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So Huddersfield, I mean, it's not going to... Let's hope we try and put on a display for the supporters.
Well, don't get your hopes up.
All right. I won't.
No.
And then it's Mansfield, and that's our last game of the season, and then we're done. We're out.
Yeah. That's... I mean, it's one to forget, isn't it, really, this season?
Yeah. I mean, the Nottingham Forest stuff was a bit of interest.
Yeah. What, one day of the whole year?
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers.
Okay, well, we'll be back Monday, I suppose, after Huddersfield.
Yep.
Hope you have all had a slice or two of the Simnel cake.
Hopefully you haven't.
Bon
It
appetito.
looks revolting. Like, really revolting.
It really
It
doesn't.
looked like a big load of beef and pastry. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
You know what I had?
What did you have?
Chocolate Easter egg.
Boo. Boring.
Not boring. Nice.
Colwell has a chocolate Easter egg, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Think about it. Look at the photo of the food you sent me. Who do you think's more likely to eat that? A big Scottish walrus man.
Is that me?
Coldwell.
Oh, yeah.
Or this little Devon Softie. Me. Chocolate egg for me. Beef cake for you and Coldwell.
Oh, yeah. All right, fair enough. On that note, my name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.